Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Mritam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravan Kirtanam. Tadyantasto Hiya Bhadrani Vidunati Shrotratam. Nashtaprayasya Bhadresh Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Bhagavatitam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 22nd chapter. We are going to cover two verses, verse number 46 and 7. Verse number 46. Swameva brahmano bhunte swam vaste swam dadati cha tasyeva anugrahena annam bhunjate kshatriya yadayah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras eat their food by the virtues of Brahmanas, mercy. It is the Brahmanas who enjoy their own property, clothe themselves with their own property, and give charity with their own property. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped with the word Namo Brahman Devaya, which indicates that the Supreme Lord accepts the Brahmanas are as worshipable gods. The Supreme Lord is worshipped by everyone, yet to teach others, he worshipped the Brahmanas. Everyone should follow the instruction of the Brahmanas, for their only business is to spread Shabd Brahma or Vedic knowledge. All over the world, whenever there is a scarcity of the Brahmanas to spread the Vedic knowledge, chaos throughout the human society results. Since the Brahmanas and Vaishyas are direct servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they do not depend on others. In actually, everything in the world belongs to the Brahmanas, and out of their humility, the Brahmanas accept the charity from Kshatriya or the king or the Vaishyas or merchant. Everything belongs to the Brahmanas, but Kshatriya, government, and the mercantile people keep everything in the custody, like bankers, and whenever Brahmanas need money, Kshatriya and Vaishya should supply it. It is like a saving account with the money which the depositor can draw out at his will. Brahmanas, being engaged in the service of the Lord, have very little time to handle the finance of the world, and therefore the riches are kept by the Kshatriyas or the kings who are to produce money upon the Brahmanas' demand. Actually, the Brahmanas or Vaishyas do not live at others' cost. They live by the spending their own money, although it appears that they are collecting this money from others. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas have no right to give charity, for whatever they possess belongs to Brahmanas. Therefore, charity should be given by the Kshatriyas or Vaishyas under the instruction of Brahmanas. Unfortunately, at present moment, there is a scarcity of the Brahmanas, and since the so-called Kshatriya and Vaishyas do not carry out the order of Brahmanas, the world is in a chaotic situation. The second line of this verse indicates that Kshatriya and Vaishya Shudras eat only by the virtue of Brahmana's mercy. In other words, they should not eat anything which is forbidden by the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas and Vaishnavas uh, know what to eat, and by their personal example, they do not eat anything which is not offered first to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They eat only the prasad and the remnants of the food offered to the Lord. The Kshatriya and Vaishya and Shudras should eat only the Krishna prasad which is offered them by the mercy of the Brahmanas. They cannot open the slaughterhouses and eat meat, fish, eggs, or drink liquor or earn money for this purpose without authorization. In the present age, because the society is not guided by the Brahminical instruction, the whole population is absorbed in the sinful activity. Consequently, everyone is deservedly being punished by the laws of nature. This is situation is age of Kali. Verse number 7. येरीदृशो भगवतो गतिरात्मवान् एकान ततो निगमिभिः प्रतिपादितः न तुष्यन्त अवतभ्र करुणा स्वकृतेन नित्यं को नाम तत् प्रतिकरोति विनोद पात्रम. Translation. Prathu Maharaj continued, how can such a person who have rendered unlimited service by explaining the path of self-realization in the relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whose explanations are given for our enlightenment with complete conviction and Vedic evidence, be prepared except by folded palms containing the water of their satisfaction? Such great personality can be satisfied only by their own activities, which are distributed among the human society out of their unlimited mercy. Purport. The great personalities of the material world are very eager to render the welfare service to the human society, but actually no one can render the better service than one who distributes the knowledge of the spiritual realization in relation with the Supreme Personality of God. All living entities are within the clutches of the illusory energy. Forgetting their real identity, they hover in the material existence, transmigrating from the one body to another in search of peaceful life. Since these living entities have very little knowledge of self realization, they are not getting any relief, although they are very anxious to attain peace of the mind and some substantial happiness. Saintly person like the Kumaras, Narad, Prahlad, Janak, Sukhdev Goswami, Kapil Dev, as well as the follower of such authority as the Vaishnava Acharya and their servant, can render a valuable service to the humanity by disseminating knowledge of the relationship between Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity. Such knowledge is perfect benediction for humanity. Knowledge of Krishna is such a great gift that is impossible to repay the benefactor. Therefore, Prathu Maharaj requested the Kumaras to be satisfied by their own uh, benevolent activities is delivering souls from the clutches of Maya. And the king saw that there is no other way to satisfy them for their exalted activities. The word Vinod Patra can be divided into two words, Vina and Udapatram. Can be understood as a one word Vinod Patram, which means joker. A joker's activity simply arouse laughter, and a person who tries to repay the spiritual master or teacher of the transcendental message of the Krishna becomes a laughing stock, just like a joker, because it is not possible to repay such a debt. The best friend or benefactor of all people is one who awakened the humanity to its original Krishna consciousness. वाक्यतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे श्रीमन्चैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन स्वयं रूपा कथं येन ददाति तदेव वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्रीकृपासंततिः पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity to make note of these verses and share with you. Please forgive me. By mistake, I did my own interpretation here. So the main problem Srila Prabhupada pointed out in the purport, due to the lack of qualified brahmanas, the present society is very chaotic. The brahmana represent the head of God. The head gives the direction. So if there is no direction, we may have the most strongest body, arms, legs are there, but there is no direction, then what we know are the wrong direction. It doesn't matter all the facilities. Uh, if it is misguided due to the lack of head or brahmanas who give the instruction on the proper course of action, then society will be definitely a chaotic. So without leader, when we don't have a leader, things becomes very difficult. So if we go like couple of chapters back where we have the story of the Maharaj Vena, so we know that uh, uh, he has been put on throne because uh, the people they needed some king, some kind of they are taken they took some risk basically on them. So there is a saying that because Wayne was not suitable king, so but nobody was there. So there is saying that the blind uncle is better than no uncle. So uh, in the natural arrangement by the Lord, right, whoever is present there, they made it. It comes like Chaturvarna Maya system. So it is natural order. There is a head. There is some direction. As we saw, like later on, his son was put in throne because he was not performing well. So everything, everywhere in every society needs some direction, and the best direction of those who are in the sync with or in basically representing very well the wishes of Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what the Brahmanas are supposed to be doing that. uh, it is known that the Brahmanas or spirit of the uh, Brahmanas are always aligned with the desire of Krishna. That is also the Srila Prabhupada's direction. So human society and everyone else follow their guidance, the Brahmanas' guidance. Now the problem is when there are not Brahmanas, then what is the other option? So there is a term like Brahman Bandhu. So what does it mean by Brahman Bandhu? The means the friend of Brahmanas. So you can say like, okay, I'm not Brahmana, but I know Brahmana, Brahman Bandhu. So you are not really a Brahmana born in family, but you have the family is there, but you don't have any qualification. If someone says that my father is a brain surgeon, very good doctor, but I never went to school, but maybe I can operate on you, then definitely we'll say no, no, thank you. Then that person will say, no, no, my father was, and his father was a brain surgeon too. So I just didn't get any time to go to the school and get qualified, but I come in the family of the brain surgeon. So it doesn't work in that way, basically. So what is described here now, that's a big problem. So the qualified Brahmanas are representative of Krishna. And it says here, everything belongs to them. Now, that is what does it mean? Like, well, Prabhupada explains further that uh, one end we know that everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is the property of Krishna in this material world. And then who is the caretaker? So as the point is through the caretaker of the property, that is what it means that we should be the Brahmanas because they know what Krishna wants to done here. Just like any caretaker, there's a particular property or building who keeps everything together, a caretaker on the behalf of landlord, because the caretaker knows like what owner wants, whether this building should be used for some business purpose, landscaping, museum, or whatever. So caretaker, they keep everything very nicely arranged according to the desire of owner. So like that, the actually everyone is supposed to be a caretaker in this material world according to their position. But especially it is described here the Brahmanas because they are wise. They have all these good qualities like peacefulness or self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, they are honest, they have the Vedic knowledge, very religious. So these are some natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work as an caretaker on behalf of Krishna. These are natural qualities. It is not forced. He's just naturally inclined towards the peacefulness, the Brahmana person, or naturally inclined towards the self-control or austerity. These are all like wealth of any Brahman. Purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom. So these are the qualities that Brahmanas have, and if uh, we don't have, then we cannot take the advantage what is being described here, and it does not apply on us if we are not heading in a direction to cultivate these qualities. And further, the point is described like the downfall of Vedic culture and Indian culture is without qualification. Basically, people are acting in different position. So, where is the actual qualified Brahmana? Where is the qualified Kshatriya or qualified Vaishnava? Forget about it. Even where is the qualified Shudra? We cannot get even a good Shudra in these days. That's very unfortunate situation. Hiring anyone and then telling that person, okay, don't use mobile while you are working. Just give dedicate your 8 hours for the work I gave you. It's very difficult. We cannot get even that kind of employee in today's world. So forget about qualified Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya. Even to get a qualified Shudra in this material world, in this present world, is very difficult. So the different perk, if we want that offered in the Vedas for this different, just like Kshatriya can collect the taxes, or if they use that money for the welfare of the citizen, whatever uh, taxes collected by Kshatriya or government. Otherwise, they don't have any right to collect tax if they are not able to use those taxes properly. Another point here is that the devotee, they don't depend on the others because they have full faith that they are being maintained by the Supreme Personality of God. The point is like when the devotee accept even the charity or ask for charity or donation, then they are not thinking like that very person is giving the money. They are thinking that, okay, this is Krishna's money coming through this person. So that is what going on in the devotee's mind when he seeks some donation for the Krishna conscious activities from some person. So Krishna basically through that person is giving some money, some help. So that is actually the thinking of a devotee. And if we talk about like I mean, anytime if any wealthier person, anytime if Krishna wants, Krishna can take away all anything, anytime anything can taken away from that person. Taken away every single penny will be taken by the Krishna. So this is at the point of his devotee. Devotee at his end, he's completely unattached, detached. So if they don't depend on Krishna, on their mercy, actually, then they have to deal with the Maya, the materialistic person. But a devotee of Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. That is his understanding. And using Krishna's service because they see like everything is actually the property of Supreme Lord. They can deal with this material world and materialistic person. Another thing is that don't feel, if you don't feel like you own anything. So devotee always make so many plans for preaching, but finally they leave it up to the Krishna. They leave it up to the result of any activity they perform in Krishna conscious to the Krishna. So the point is like where does it put us? Where we are supposed to be this kind of brahmanas. We are supposed to have different qualification of being peaceful or self-control or austere or pure, like very clean. So when we hear these different things, we just have to see how we can take up there, how we can get there. Because this opulence here in this verse talking about, like brahmanas are everything. So it always follows some proportion of qualification. If we follow Krishna and his instruction, then only one can become brahmanas and can deserve the way it is written here in this verse. In very initial lines, it is described Namo Brahman Devaya Guru Brahman Hitachi. So Krishna, he is the Lord of the Brahmanas, and he's also Brahmanas are worshipable personalities for him. It's very, very important. It's very good from time to time. Basically, we should check our spiritual checkup where we are. The way we have this physical checkup with the doctor, we should check up how we are doing with our hearing and chanting, how we are doing in developing the qualities here mentioned for the Brahmana. I would like to conclude here. Is already time 6:10 a.m. Thank you so much. Please forgive.